You got mics 1 and 2 only. Test your mics first.
Test.
I tested them already.
Okay.
I tested them earlier.
Okay.
I know they did. I want them down.
So now remember, you hold her off to an angle, but be comfortable,
Stop
relax.
playing.
That's what I'm waiting on.
Play your music. Play your music.
We're starting.
Oh, you ready? Yes. Okay, here we go.
Not paying attention.
Sorry.
Everybody to speed. Roger. Ready to move out.
Bell and Company.
Yes, it is another fine episode here on our new location of IntellectualRadio.com. I am Mario J. Bell, and over in the corner there is Libby. Good morning, Libby.
Hi.
Or good afternoon. We're afternoons now here.
How y'all doing?
I think we're okay. I'm feeling okay. How's
Well,
everybody in the
that's
room? Everybody okay? I think so.
That's great.
It's a beautiful day for Chicago in April. We tape in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, or excuse me, we do the show. We don't tape. We're here. We're here right
We're
now. If you're
live.
on intellectualradio.com or on YouTube or Facebook, it's us. Yoo-hoo! Hi, everybody. So anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's like 80 something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain a little bit, but who cares?
Oh,
80 in
bummer.
April, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Especially in the Chicago area. People are, spoiled from other states like the southern states. 80 is like cold.
Yeah.
My parents always joke about that. They live now in Florida and they're like, what are you talking about? 80 is warm. We're wearing jackets. I'm like, you guys crazy. So yeah, they're spoiled,
Yeah.
I don't know what people in Florida would do if it was 20 below. I think they would die.
Probably. I mean, they're not used to that.
I know lizards and
We
chameleons, they like hibernate, they fall out of trees. I know that.
That's not good.
But I don't think they die. I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure. But anyway, hey, speaking of dying, we're all still here. I don't know if people have been paying attention. It is Sunday. Everybody's doing their family stuff, games, church and all that. But in the middle of the night, and it's during the day over there in the Middle East, Israel and Hamas are going at it. And so is Iran. Iran was sending a bunch of bombs over to Israel. It's like,
I
uh-oh,
know. It's just so
here we go.
depressing.
It seems like history repeats itself every, I don't know,
Yeah.
10 years or so. Remember during the Clinton administration, it was really bad.
Yeah, I do.
Well, he was fighting in Herzegovina or whatever, Chechnya, whatever that area is called, Czechoslovakia area. But then he was also overseeing the fight with same thing. I think it was the PLO at the time, not Hamas. I don't know if Hamas was
but
around
I'm sick
yet.
of all these wars.
I bet.
It's depressing.
It gets very
Why
stressful.
do we have to be involved in everyone's business?
Well, all I'm worried about is that the U.S. is okay, but if they can use that drone protection stuff where they were just bombing the drones right out of the sky, I guess we're okay. Because I think we got more than that. But anyway, yeah, we're still here. And it's funny, it's going to be Passover pretty soon. So maybe they're getting it all in before the Passover.
I don't know. I still don't
Because they take a
agree
break
with
in Israel for that. I know that. But no, Hamas and Iran don't, because that's who started it. Iran was sending the drones over with missiles. They were going to blow up and bomb areas. So anyway, I hope they can work all that out and we're not in the middle of a third world war. But how many times have we said World War III in the last 50 years?
Yeah, I don't
Remember
like
Russia and the Cold War, and now Russia and Ukraine are fighting over land and who's going to control what. We're giving a lot of money to them.
I know. I don't agree with
Not Russia,
funding that.
Ukraine. We're giving a lot of money.
I don't agree with funding any of that.
I mean, honestly, we're like the world's safety net and police. We try to help everybody. So I guess that's just how it goes. But anyway, so yeah, we're all still here. That's the good news.
Yes,
And it's a little scary when you think about it that the 800 drones or whatever they sent over could be sent across the Atlantic or even across the other way,
yeah.
From south or from the Pacific. But anyway, we're here to talk about what we want to talk about and have a little fun and hopefully entertain and inform like we like to do. Again, you can find us obviously at IntellectualRadio.com because you're probably already looking at it if you're hearing this. So it's on YouTube. It's on their website, IntellectualRadio.com. But I want to remind everybody that they can, of course, go to the audio version that is included in Spreaker, Spreaker, also through their website and an app. And then it eventually ends up on the iHeart app. So that's pretty cool. So that's everything in terms of where you can find us. But, I don't want to forget, there's a bunch of cool pictures of Libby on our Facebook page. which
Yeah.
is really long name. I've been saying it for the last 2 days, and people have emailed me like, "What? Why didn't you just change it to Bell and Company?" Because that's obviously the name of the show.
Complicated issues with Facebook.
Well, it is. Facebook, I think, doesn't allow you to change it more than twice. And I've had a couple different names at
Yeah.
different stations, right? So I
Mhm.
think that might have something to do with it. Or I just am not very techie savvy when it comes to Facebook because, look, I've tried about 30 times to change it to Bell and Company. So I'm kind of giving up. So everybody just go type in a search, IntellectualRadio.com, and then you'll find our show, Bell and Company. Or you can do Mario J. Bell Radio, and it'll pop up. So you'll find us. Yeah, so you'll see the stories that we talk about. You'll see the articles on that page. So that's why I'm telling you about it, to find us. But anyway, speaking of finding us, we have some cool stuff to talk about. Like I mentioned, we are here. That's good. Praise your whoever you worship. I know, Libby, you don't really do that, do you?
No,
You don't like Sunday church service, do you?
I gave up religion a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, we hope to have you back someday. But anyway, so here's what's going on that I want to talk about. This is actually an issue that Libby couldn't solve. And you know what? I even got a little confused. I got it right after a couple of tries.
A day of booze and then drug in you.
Yeah, right.
Know, you get up and you're hangover. You can't think of anything.
I guess you've been having a good time, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you went out without me last night. I don't like when you do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is an interesting math equation. It's pretty simple, but a lot of people mess it up. Again, I've been talking about the last couple of days, and I go to them quite often. It's a website through CNBC.com, basically. It's called Make It. And they have a lot of like finance tips and stories about what's going on in the economy of the world. You know, it has stuff from Shark Tank on there and people who have made it, entrepreneurs that have made it big through Shark Tank, and some of the stories they share as well. But anyway, this is from CNBC's Make It. And this is great. People almost always get this simple math problem wrong. So here we go. Libby, are you ready?
No, I'm not.
You're not ready? You don't think you can solve it, huh? You're already downplaying whether you can do it?
Yeah, I got a bad hangover.
All right. Well, you need some water over there for you.
Don't ask me to do math.
All right. Well, here it is. I'll just ask everybody else in the audience to do this fun thing. You could do this in school tomorrow for the kids or at work. It's a fun thing. So the question goes, here it is. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. I'm going to repeat that. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 total. The bat cost $1 more than the ball. Again, 110. The bat cost $1 more than the ball. So how much does the ball cost, Libby?
Wasn't it 5 cents?
Holy cow, I thought you said you were hungover. Man, you spoiled the whole article.
I'm
you
sorry.
got it right off the bat. I thought maybe you need to drink more. Maybe I need to drink more. Oh, well, she gave it away, folks, but that is the correct answer. Wow. I don't know if anybody else in the audience caught it that fast. So much for that article. But no, I will continue reading because actually it's funny how it usually goes. Because this is what I originally thought of. And now I thought I was sober today, but this is what most
you don't drink.
Our owners are laughing at me. If your knee-jerk response, which actually was my response, is why I brought it up, is that the ball costs 10 cents. That's what I thought right away.
Yeah, it was a tricky question.
Well, that is common though. Most people say 10 cents.
Right.
So I could go on with the article because I can tell you what most people say. So anyway, most people say that the common answer. I just can't believe you got it literally without even thinking. You just said. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the article.
Don't underestimate the dummy.
I guess the dummy isn't that stupid, is she? Look, we call her it's a joke, everybody. Okay.
I know.
It's Libby. She's Libby Tarr's the co-host, who just so happens to be a ventriloquist dummy. All right. Okay. Who's very, very worried about getting germs and COVID and everything. So that's the mask. Okay. Anyway, back to
Plus, I don't want people to look at me and see my face.
I guess so. This is your avatar. This is Libby's avatar, which you're seeing on the video portion of the show. But anyway, so it's 10 cents is the common answer. And basically that brings the total to 120. That's where people get it incorrect because it's not $1 then.
Right.
$1 more, it's $1.10 more. So the correct answer obviously is the ball, like what you said, it's 5 cents. And then the bat is actually $1.05. So that I thought you said you weren't good with math, Libby.
I'm not.
You must be
caught
good
me on a lucky
with
day,
you must be good on a different plane, like if you're talking about dimensions or something. I don't know. That's really crazy. But anyway, the question is part of the cognitive reflection test. So obviously you have very good
For a dummy, yes, I
for
do.
cognitive duty.
Who would've
What's
thought?
the faculties? What's the word there? But anyway, the question's part of this cognitive reflection test, CRT, which was actually first described in 2005 by a psychologist by the name of Shane Frederick. Now, Frederick wanted to examine how people basically fight or don't fight. Their instant, like what do they call it, primitive. He calls it intuitive
The
thinking.
fight and flight.
It's kind of the fight or flight,
Yeah.
exactly. So the question in the original test contained two additional parts, two questions. So if it takes 5 machines 5 minutes, I'm going to see if you get this one, because I didn't talk to Libby about this before the show, everybody, just what we're going to say about it. But anyway, if it takes 5 machines 5 minutes to make 5 widgets, how long would it take 100 machines to make 100 widgets?
100 minutes?
Let's see here. You know what? I don't know if they put the answer in it now that I think about it
I'm
here.
just guessing.
But this is the other question they asked. So let's get to the other question.
I don't know.
All right, we'll get to the answer in a second. But here's the second question of this. Actually, the third question of the whole test. In a lake, there's a patch of lily pads. Every day, the patch doubles in size. If it takes 48 days for the patch to cover the entire lake, how long would it take for the patch to cover half of the lake? Again, I'll read it for maybe we can solve that one faster. It takes 48 days for the patch to cover the entire lake. How long would it take for the patch to cover half of the lake? So people are probably going to say half of the time of days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, so research about this, whether the test measures cognitive ability or intelligence, has been very mixed, obviously. You just solved one of them in like 2 seconds. However, why so many people get it wrong is due to, and this is what the point of the story is, not that Libby's really smart, but that's cool too. Libby's smart. Anyway.
Yeah, you better think that. Don't tell me.
It's so many people get it wrong. It's due to the psychological trap that a lot of people fall into.
Right.
And that is the same trap that can actually hinder our ability to make decisions, like quick, sound decisions, keep people alive, like say you're in the wartime zones here, like you're in Israel or whatever. But anyway, it's a psychological trap. And now here's why a lot of people do get the math wrong, unlike Libby. There's actually 2 distinct ways this happens. Psychologists refer to these cognitive processes as system 1 and system 2. System 1 is your initial reaction. So Libby's initial reaction, get the answer right, I guess.
Yeah.
System 2 is when you use your conscious thought and effort. So maybe before you said something, you were trying to do the math in the back of your head, maybe write some stuff down.
Yes.
Okay, so that's system 2. I think you're more with certain math problems. And you said in high school you had math issues, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I did.
Well, whatever. System 2 is
Maybe
more.
took a lucky guess.
I would say you're more system 1 at this point. Anyway, so system 2 is when you use the conscious thought and effort. And a gentleman by the name of Daniel Kahneman popularized the idea in a book that he wrote. I guess it was a bestseller on the New York Times bestselling list, Thinking Fast and Slow. So for system 2 to kick in, all right, you must realize that system 1 did not produce the right answer. So you didn't need system 2. You just were right in system 1. But anyway, so that's system 2. For some people, the intuitive answer is the ball costs 10 cents. And that's what we mentioned earlier.
Right.
In order to come to that correct answer, you need to realize that system 1 now didn't work and then assess the problem again. So that's if you get the wrong answer. You already knew the right answer. So I guess you're in the system 1 mentality, at least according to this Make It article from CNBC. Giving people another chance to solve a problem, though, doesn't automatically mean that they will get it right on those other tries. Okay. Yeah. Giving people another chance, obviously that's more in the system 2. But anyway, even when given 2 chances, many people would remain loyal to their knee-jerk answer. And now that's according to more recent studies, a little more closer to this year. They've been doing them in the last 5 years or so. In the experiment, researchers gave participants 50 versions of the bat and ball problem. 50 different versions of that. Participants had to first give their system one answer, which is right, boom, boom, boom. I got my answer right off the
Really
bat, like
quick,
you
yeah.
did. And you were correct. But anyway, both results, both showed that people's first hunches and the responses they gave after deliberation predominantly remained biased. Well, this is where the interesting part of the article comes in.
Yes.
So there's a bias there from start to finish.
Mhm.
But in the rare cases in which participants did learn to correct themselves, they immediately managed to apply the solution strategy and gave a different correct hunch on that subsequent problem. So this is an interesting article about how
Thought
we think,
processing, yeah.
thought cognitive
Right.
function, basically. So we're getting into a little psychology here on Intellectual Radio and Bell and Company. How about that? Anyway,
Yeah.
while making
And you're
decisions,
talking to a dummy.
and you're talking to a dummy. How about that? In making,
You're talking to.
I know I am, right. Well, they're listening to the dummy. So anyway, hold on. I didn't want to cough, so I'll drink. Okay, so anyway, while making these decisions, it's important to not always go with your hunch. Reevaluate your choice,
Right.
even if your intuition is telling you that you made the right choice, and then reflect on whether you're actually analyzing the problem or just looking for an answer, like a quick, easy answer.
Right.
So very interesting. How about
It
that
is.
for some Sunday morning thought?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean,
I'm probably always going, I try to wait. I'm always a system 2 guy.
mhm.
I remember talking about this in my psychology class in college because I did actually, I know we talked on other shows about not needing to go to college. I did do a few years.
Mhm.
Actually, I did like 6, but on different years. I didn't do 6 consecutive years of
Right.
college. I'm like Tommy Boy. But Tommy Boy did like 12 years of college, right? Wasn't it 12? Usually most people remember the joke, David Spade's
Yeah.
like, most people graduate in 4 years, Tom.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like Tommy Boy.
That was a good.
God
movie
rest
anyway.
David,
Chris Farley.
Chris
That's
Farley's
David
soul.
Spade is still
I got
alive.
to meet him a few times working at downtown. But
Was
anyway,
Farley or Spade.
both of them actually.
Oh,
But anyway,
really?
back to the story.
I liked
So
Farley.
Sunday thinking, interesting stories, and I guess I'm more of a in terms of going to college, taking my sweet time is what I was
Well,
getting.
yeah, you can say that again.
So great
You've
article
always been
though.
on the slow bus, are you?
I don't. You say that all the time, Livy. I don't know about you. Anyway, so this is from CNBC Make It. It just came out. They just updated it a few days ago. It's from about a year ago, July of last year. So great
Okay.
article to look at. And I never shared on any other show we were on, so I thought it'd be cool to talk about today. Food for thought on Sunday. We know another guy that does food for
We
thought.
really don't want to think on Sunday, though,
But-
do we?
Well, why not? We're having fun. We can think a little bit. But the guy that he doesn't do food for thought. He does fruit for thought.
Oh yeah,
That's your favorite guy. I forget his name.
Colin or not?
No, it starts with a C though. But anyway,
Yeah, I forgot it too.
he's an interesting character. He
He
basically
weirdo.
talks about, like I said, like he doesn't really get you to think. He just gives you inspirational
Thoughts of
stuff.
the day with the
Yeah,
fruit.
but now he's sitting there eating all these weird things I've never even seen before.
Exotic fruit.
Yeah,
stuff
very
I
exotic. Like
don't
it's
know
from
about.
some company near Miami or something.
Oh, I thought he was just getting it off the tree.
No, I don't think so. I know he lives in Florida. I don't know about just grabbing it. No, because the one is it's like purple. Where do you get a purple fruit? What is that? I don't know what
It's
he's
kind of weird. I've never seen that before in my life.
So we've got food for thought. He's got fruit for thought.
Yeah.
But that just popped in my head. But anyway, before I get on to the next topic, I want to elaborate a little bit on the story that we just mentioned with the loop. So Tommy lived above the studio.
The Hancock.
He lived in the John Hancock Tower in
Chris
Chicago,
Farley, you mean,
which
yeah.
I don't know what they're calling it now.
Oh,
And-
it's still the Hancock.
I don't think so. I think they changed the name. But anyway,
Oh,
he goes
really?
down. He would go down and visit Mancow.
Oh, yeah,
another
he'd
Chicago
stalk him,
guy.
yeah, I know.
He'd come in the studio. Then he'd go over to the Loop where we were at, which happened to be owned by the same company as Mancow's
Yeah.
station. So we were down the hall, right? So then he did. You just see the two of them wandering around. It wasn't even to come in for an interview.
Yeah,
I don't know
he
what
was
David
always
Spade would
showing
have been
up,
doing in town. but-
probably promoting that movie.
Who knows? But I know Chris Farley lived there,
Yeah, he
and Chris
did.
Farley knew how to party. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I saw the people that he was with a lot of times. I feel bad for how he died. I mean, I guess it was a drug overdose,
It was
but
another Belushi.
kind of another
unfortunately,
Belushi problem.
Yeah.
referring to Jim Belushi, who's also from
No, John
Chicago area.
Belushi. Jim Belushi.
I mean, John Belushi, sorry.
Jim Belushi's still alive.
Yeah, Jim is still
We
doing.
don't want to
Actually,
get so
Jim Belushi's selling weed.
Is he really?
Yes.
He has a dispensary.
And it ain't medical marijuana. It's like the farm and the dispensary for, I think it's in Colorado
Oh wow.
or Arizona. I
Okay.
forget where it's at. People can correct me if you know where it's at. You can
I
comment.
never knew that.
Yep. So that's interesting little side story there of I got to see him walking in the hall and just chatting with him. He actually literally, I kid you not, invited the whole staff to go up there one time and I couldn't do it because I had a test or something. I don't remember why I couldn't go.
He was a lonely guy.
So yeah, I could have been
sad.
partying with Chris Farley. How about that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, kind of a cool
Yeah.
little side story. But again, that had nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're talking about the CNBC article and Tommy Boy, the movie. So anyway, but just an interesting, quick little side story. You know, when you're in this business, okay, maybe you don't always get longevity in terms of where you're at for a job, and maybe you don't make as much money as you would think that people get paid in this business. And I'm talking about entertainment business, radio,
Mhm.
podcasting, now doing all these reels and stuff everybody's doing, you know, the influencer stuff. But one thing you do have is certain perks, like going to events.
Right.
So, I mean, just literally being at the radio station, I got to hang out with
Right.
briefly. Now, I'm not saying we partied together because we never did, but meeting them and just talking to them just
Right.
casually, David Spade, who's still around, obviously doing a podcast similar to
Yeah.
what we're doing, not on a network, not on intellectualradio.com. But anyway, he's around, but hanging out with Chris Farley was pretty awesome. When you think about
I can
that.
imagine. I mean,
You know, even Mancow, the
Yeah.
host I was talking about, even he still talks about it sometimes.
yeah, he was party friends with Mancow, and then Mancow was seeing it how bad it was getting, and he was just like backed off.
Yeah, when he's talking about Chris Farley, but
Yeah.
you know, there were a lot of cool people.
I saw
worked
that
with.
on an interview, so
I don't know if
that's from
people
his mouth.
I don't know if people remember not just Mancow, but Danny Bonaducci was on
Oh, I
WLUP.
like him. Yeah.
Brandmeier, Jonathan Brandmeier was on
Yeah.
WLUP. Who else was big? Oh, Chet Kopic,
Kevin,
Matthews.
the legend himself.
And then they still had music, I think, on the nights and weekends. It was weird.
Yeah.
There was a time where Liz Wild was there, who I still talk to. She's in Florida.
Yeah. You
My
told me
cheese is
about that.
flaming, she used to say. My cheese is flaming.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you said you went down there to stalk her. And you took
Yeah,
off
no,
the
I wasn't
underwear.
really stalking her. We won some radio contest about you show her your
That's silly.
boxer shorts or something, you win tickets. It was silly, but it was fun. That was my first experience of going down into Chicago to a radio station.
Yeah.
And then my second big experience was going back to that same radio station to be in the audience of the show we were talking about, Kevin Matthews. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fun. So yeah, Mancow had some good competition right in the same building, literally across the hall.
Yeah. I
So
remember.
yeah, I mean, he had his own ratings deal. He fought with Howard Stern. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
That was interesting. And what's cool about it is the whole same company had them all under their own, you know, belt.
Right.
You wouldn't know that as a listener because most people don't know who owns what or
Right.
care. Why would anybody really care if they're not trying to get a job there, right?
Yeah.
They just want to hear Mancow, or they want to hear Stern, or they want to hear
Yeah.
Ramar, they want to hear Intellectual Radio and Bell and Company. They're not worried about where we're at, where we're from, who owns what.
Right.
The only reason that applies is like, you know, seeing ownership, like what things are going to change. That's where,
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started
That's where the
on
change-
that other station we were on.
Yeah,
oh
that's
my
the
God.
issue. Well, look, let's not get into it.
I don't want to, but
You know, hey, if you and I,
It makes
if we
me
didn't do
mad.
that project and we didn't know him, you know, the guy in Elgin, if we didn't know him, we wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be together. So
true.
So,
Okay.
things
I'll
happen
shut
for a
up
reason.
once.
Because the first time I came to talk to these guys in Intellectual Radio, Earl and Wanda, shoot, that was, I think it was like 12 years ago almost, at least 10. And they were in a
Wow.
different building and everything. So
yeah.
yeah, it was a while ago. And just think we would have had 10 years yet. But I don't think I even knew you yet, Libby.
No.
So maybe
You
it was.
didn't know me then.
Lord, it has to be 12 years. Holy cow, that went by
Yeah.
fast. But anyway, people don't probably want to worry about all that. They want to know more stuff that we're going to talk about. So we have another cool article. Did you hear about this article about the gorilla that's like the oldest gorilla in the world now?
Oh no.
Here, let me find it. I will find it for you.
Is he King Kong?
I'm scrolling through. I just go ahead and use my notes right out of my Facebook. I just share them to my wall or whatever, or to my own saved. So here we are. And one of the other things I had saved is really cool. I don't know if people knew this. The Batman and Robin action figures from the Mego Toys back in the 70s, they had a Batmobile. I never knew that. I'm looking at the picture. So people, again, can see that. Speaking of this, they can see it on my Facebook. Mario
That's
J.
your
Bell.
favorite
Santa,
Batmobile.
Santa Cata. Yeah. Mario J. Bell Radio. Look it up. You can see my Facebook, and it's really
You
cool.
can see your big nose too, by the way.
Yeah, it looks big on the video too. I wish I had this car. You know how much this car's worth?
Oh,
I just saw. I was looking it up before we got here. It's like $1,000 because they're really rares. A lot of stuff that Migo made was mass produced for a
Yeah.
while, but some things he did like a special, like the Star Trek characters. It's really hard to find some of them. But there's the old original series look with Captain Kirk and all that.
yeah.
Those are very hard. Some of those to find. Same thing with the Batmobile. So anyway, that's has nothing to do with the next story. I just thought it was cool. Libby, like I said, did you hear about the oldest gorilla?
King Kong?
No, that's in the movie that's out right now.
Godzilla?
If people want to go to theaters, there's a movie with him. No, it's about this is what surprised me about the article I want to talk about. Did you know gorillas can live as long as humans are longer?
No,
Even
I didn't know that.
so,
Wow.
Fatua, I guess is the name how you say it. I really don't know how to say it. Is 67 years old.
Wow.
Isn't that
Ooh,
crazy?
Wow.
Now
Yeah.
he's at one of the, or I guess I'm sorry, it's a she. Pardon me, because she's a grandmother.
Oh, she's a
The most
grandmother
visited
too.
zoo in Europe is celebrating another milestone for one of the most special residents, and that's Fatou. I don't know how to say that. I think it's Fatou, Fatou, believed to be the oldest gorilla in the world, and she's 67. So if
Wow.
she is truly the oldest gorilla, I'm guessing, I mean, maybe in the island of Sumatra, there might be some more that we don't know about, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I think we would know. Anyway,
Wow.
so Fatou was born. Actually, this is the oldest that's kept, in a zoo.
Right.
So that we can say for sure. But anyway, she was born in 57.
Wow.
She came to the zoo I guess that's in, where's the Berlin Zoo? Yeah, that's in Germany at 2 years old. And then she gave birth to a bunch of children and grandchildren. Well, then the grandchildren came from that.
Wow.
So she gave birth to Dufty, the first gorilla to be raised in Germany's capital city. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then Fatou herself is now a grandmother of 2 through this Dufty, and this is the cool part, great grandmother of 13.
Wow.
And 5 of them are still around with her.
Wow, that's good.
So, I mean, maybe in humans, 67 is kind of average. Actually, the
Yeah.
average age, I think, is like 80 something now. But anyway, for gorillas, that's old.
Yeah.
I mean, dogs die at 20 at their longest period
Yeah.
of being alive. So, if they reach 20, 21, that's like amazing
Yeah,
for
that's
dogs. But
I
this is
didn't know they
obviously,
could live that long.
obviously gorillas have a lot of the same characteristics as humans. Obviously,
Right,
we've always
exactly.
talked about that.
Yeah.
We can get into religion, we can talk about creationism, we can talk about,
Oh, no.
evolution. But anyway, similar to us.
Wow.
So anyway, so back to the story. She's got 5 still living of the 13. And then she's actually a grandmother to 20
Oof.
that are dead and alive. So pretty awesome. So happy birthday to Fatou, the gorilla.
Yeah.
But even with all that family, this is what I found interesting about this article. Now everybody's like, huh? What? Okay. So here's the interesting part. Fatou, she has all these grandchildren, right? All
Yeah.
these children and grandchildren, great grandchildren.
I don't even have one yet.
But she doesn't. I thought you have one daughter. We talked about her.
I mean,
Oh,
the
you mean great-grandchildren.
grandchild.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
rush
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant daughter. Anyway, but even with all this family, and this is the part that's weird, she doesn't want to be around people or her fellow gorillas. She
I
likes
can
her
see
own
why.
habitat. She wants to be in her own big, they're pretty big.
I can see
They're still
why.
captive. It's a zoo, but it's not like they have them in a little room like a radio
Yeah.
studio. Anyway, so she likes being by herself. And she has her own enclosure. She happens to be the zoo's oldest resident, which is cool.
Oh my God.
So that's, I guess, why they give her whatever she wants, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So she's
the
actually free.
queen.
She's free to go and see her grandchildren, which some are still there.
Oh, that's good.
And I guess some of her children are still there even. I mean, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, I should say, are still there. So she's free to go anywhere she wants in that area where the gorillas are, the habitat for the gorillas. But instead, she purposely, like I said, she just sits by herself all day and just kind of chills out in the sun.
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
She stays away from everybody. I would think at that point that she would want to be with the community.
Yeah, but
I guess maybe this is sometimes you need solitude. Is that what you do? You go home and don't bother anybody
yeah,
living?
yeah, I don't want to talk to people. I understand where she's coming from.
Yeah,
really.
so that's her, the gorilla. And what else to see? Yeah, she seeks solitude, like I said. And Ruben Grauke is, I guess, the the head of the zoo or the division head or whatever it is, and he's saying that Fatu became the Berlin Zoo's oldest resident earlier, a couple months ago, when, and this is another cool thing, they had a flamingo named Ingo at the zoo.
The flamingo.
75 years old. So
Oh,
I guess
geez.
birds live longer than humans, maybe, or at least as long as
wow.
humans. 75-year-old bird.
Wow.
And it says right here, he's saying, quoting, the bird was actually in good health until very, late there before she died. But anyway, so that makes Fatu not only one of the oldest gorillas in captivity, or maybe in life is what they're referring to here. But I'm leaving it open. Maybe there's some we haven't met, right?
Yes.
But anyway, so she's the oldest living gorilla and the oldest living in captivity, like I said. But then there's another one, Trudy, who actually lived here in the U.S. in Arkansas, and
Wow.
she was at the time the oldest one. So apparently they live a long time. I would have
Yes.
never guessed that. And in 2020, at Fatu's 63rd birthday, the Berlin primate became the oldest gorilla ever. Again, she keeps surpassing the age of everybody, including that Trudy gorilla now. So anyway, so they do celebrate it with the cool part is they celebrate kind of a big deal at the zoo.
It is a big deal.
Yeah,
I
they
would
do a
think.
special feast. They get her plenty of treats. Healthier than ours. So they don't get cake. Obviously, they give her what she likes.
Of course.
Grass stuff like carrots and stuff, but stuff that she can. They gotta mulch it up because she doesn't have any teeth anymore.
Oh.
So
wow.
how sometimes you see people that their mouth is kind of in. That's because they have false teeth. She doesn't have no teeth. So that's kind of, I guess, who cares? She's 67. She made it a long life. She can deal with it. So they're not giving her birthday cake. She doesn't eat human food. I didn't want people to think we're giving her, cake and coffee and ice cream or something.
Maybe that's it. She doesn't eat all cake and ice cream. She's
No, that's why
alive.
she's around. She eats a ton of fruits.
Of course.
Lots of different vegetables. And then they do, because I know gorillas, they do a lot of monkeys, they still will eat like grass, things, flowers and grass, but they will eat food, like regular food, like we would eat. They're almost exclusively vegetarian, though. They don't eat meat.
Oh. Maybe
And
that's
they're called the gardeners in their actual, where they're actually from across, where are most gorillas? I guess they're in, like I said, the island of Sumatra, maybe in parts of Africa. I don't know where else gorillas would be.
Yeah.
South America? No, I don't think they're in South America, but warm climates, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, it's
with a lot of grass because they're vegetarians and a lot of vegetables. So they're actually considered gardeners in the rainforest that they're from. So that's kind of cool. In the Brookfield Zoo, they have a huge area. I think it's like a whole house that's dedicated to, they're not as old as Fatu, but there's some older gorillas in there.
Yeah,
and you can see them, like they let them come together, but they are grouped together as a family. Like you'll see the mom carrying her children with her and climb up the trees. I'm like, wow, that's pretty damn cool because they're heavy. Yeah. It's not like a baby gorilla is light,
Yeah.
And they're big. So I'm really surprised they're at our zoo. But maybe they were only there for a short time. I don't know. But I know they're there. They were just there. When was I there with my niece and nephew? I think that was in the summer of 2023. So not even a year ago, they were there. So pretty cool.
Yeah,
so they're gardeners.
I didn't know that.
They're known as gardeners. They do have fruit on special occasions, as we said. And the reason they can't have a lot of fruit or certain kinds of fruit is because a lot of the sugar and fructose intake can make them sick.
Yeah,
so
it's bad.
maybe
bad
we should
for us too,
maybe we should pay attention to Fatu and not eat a lot of sugar, but whatever.
Yeah.
I like my Salerno butter cookies.
I know you do.
So interesting story from the Berlin Zoo. So when you make your breakfast during the week, just you can throw a couple of berries in there and think about Fatu's happy birthday.
Yeah.
So pretty cool actually. I like to talk about a lot of things like that, current headlines. I mentioned in the previous shows we did already this week that we will have some celebrity guests on coming up. But again, it's kind of hard to get their schedules coordinated, especially since you're live on the radio. I suppose I could pre-record it, but it's more fun to have them here.
Yeah, we'll
and
do
take
it
calls.
live.
We're going to do it live. So I'm thinking maybe Friday nights will be the best one for them because they're going to an event, or they've already been in town. Because if we try to get them on a Saturday and Sunday afternoon, they're probably at the event, right?
Right, yeah.
So I'm hoping we get more people in here to sit with us in the studio. Of course, we'll take your calls. We have a phone line. I want to make sure I give it out. I want to talk to management. Is it still 223-8953? Yep, it is. So 708-223-8953. You can always contact us live on the air if you want to chat about something or tell us what you like or don't like about what we're saying. Or, just give us some scoop on some event, right? So you can call us there. Again, that
Abuse
number.
Mario is about his big nose.
Yeah, there you go. 708 make me self-conscious.
That's the point.
223-8953 is where you can reach us here live, and you can talk to the people we have in. We have some celebrity guests in here, like I said. So I have it planned, but I don't want to start announcing it until much closer because I feel like they're gonna, events get canceled, dates get canceled. This event is a 3-day thing with a comedy show, so I have a feeling he'll be here. But again, I'll announce more in the future. So again, we're here on weekends. We're going to be here on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Definitely Fridays for sure. Every Friday, you guys got to check us out. Saturdays and Sundays maybe for special events and as much as we can be here. Because I know Libby's got other commitments, right?
Yeah, family stuff.
Yeah, I got some family stuff going on right now. And I don't think I told it on the air. I had in the other job I do during the day, our business had a young girl who was maybe going to go celebrate herself. I don't know, but it was a Friday morning really early. She drove her fancy, probably her parents' car because she was a younger girl.
She's 16. What do you think?
She's driving to school, and she did a fishtail right into the back of our building where all the electronics is, all the alarm stuff is, all of our supplies are at, is located at. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks here. So that's why we got a few things going on that might keep us on Saturdays, but Fridays and Sundays for sure you can hear us here. So I know that for sure. And definitely Fridays. That's a big highlight. Maybe we can stay longer if they don't kick us out. So anyway, you can catch us on IntellectualRadio.com. We are on the app as well for Spreaker and iHeart. So we're around, and then the Facebook page. So anyway, any final thoughts from Libby? Anything you want to mention?
Just have a good rest of the day.
Oh, well, that's nice. We could maybe you had something going on you wanted to get off your chest or anything. You got a couple minutes.
I don't know. I just.
I can't believe you're not going into like the Middle East stuff. I was waiting for you. I'm setting you up for that, but no.
I told you I don't agree with any of these wars. Why do we have to get involved?
Okay, that's good enough, I guess. We don't need to get you mad at the end of the show. We're trying to go and have a good
fun
day. Right. So anyway, I do have a quick thing I can tell you that we are going to be at this, and I got to look where it is here. You can catch Libby and I live. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Now I got it. Got a couple minutes I can bring this up about where we're going to be. Like, you can find us at events around Chicago. We'll post it. We'll obviously be mentioning it on the IntellectualRadio.com, shows, and then wherever we can post for them as well. But yeah, we do like events at bars and festivals. We've got the Wheaton.
Fun.
We got the Wheaton All Night Fest. We're going to be at. I already arranged, so that I know. And there's some celebrities there. Maybe we can interview them. I don't know how we'll set that up. I'll talk to management.
You're gonna go stalk them?
No, they're supposed to be there. They we're gonna be there too, appearing. So
Okay.
I set that up before we started on the air here. But yeah, we're gonna be out there. That'll be fun. But if you want us to come to your event, just let us know. You can call us, actually not at the studio. Don't call us the studio. You can email me, I should say, off the air at mjspro11@gmail.com. And it's on my Facebook, but I just like to give it out. mjspro11@gmail.com. Let us know what's going on and you want us to appear, and we'll set it up. So so that's all I had for today. And apparently Libby just wants us to have a good day and don't fight wars.
Yes.
So anyway, thanks to everybody for listening to us here live on IntellectualRadio.com. I like saying that because I got so used to doing it days before and pretending that we were live. We used to make believe like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood over here, if people remember that show.
I remember that.
So this
we had to watch our mouth and say Saturday. Oops.
No, now it is. We're here. It is. It's happening on Sunday. So everybody have a great day. Thank you to everybody at Intellectual Radio for helping us out and being here. And everybody try that math problem. That's the thing. See what you can think of. Try it on people. See what they say.
I'm a dummy. I can figure it out.
And even the dummy figured it out. Right. Everybody take care. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain. Feed your brain.